I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. In the US, we barely had any homework during those 10 weeks. Yeah, in the US, the parents can actually decide if they want to delay the child. Hello everyone!
Hello everyone!
We are back. Now Mina, today I want to talk about your elementary school life, and I want to compare it to elementary schools in the US. Okay?
Okay.
But before we start, I think we need a change of scenery. So, Mina, check this out.
Wow!
You like it?
Yeah!
Alright, so Mina, recently you finished up your summer vacation and you started your nigaki,
Yeah.
or your second term. How long was your summer vacation?
It was quite of a long time.
Yeah, it was 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Right? But it feels like a really long time. Did you know that in America, summer break is even longer? Summer break in the US is about 10 weeks long.
Whoa!
So it's about twice as long as summer vacation in Japan. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
And did you have any homework during summer break?
Yeah. A lot of stuff. First of all, there's like a pianica, like a tiny version of a piano.
You have to practice.
Yeah. And then there's like a 国語プリント and the 算数プリント. And then I always need to do it. And then there's a math cards. There's a 引き算 type and 足し算 type.
Yeah, so there are additions and subtractions, and you have to time yourself, right? You have to do it very quickly. Yeah, Mina got really fast during the summer break because you practiced almost every day. Wait,
Yeah.
didn't you also have to do like the morning glory, asagao thing?
Yeah. If you get a seed where like your first bloom, you need to write it. How it looks like or how it feel like.
You have to draw pictures?
Yeah, pictures and then how it smells, how sara is it, or like,
Oh, so you have to write the description?
yeah, too.
Okay. Well, Mina, that sounds like a lot of homework, and it's only going to get more and more as you grow older.
What?
Yeah, that's summer homework in Japan. In the US, we barely had any homework during those 10 weeks. Yeah, the reason why is because the school year usually finishes in May or June, and then you have the summer, and then the school starts back up again in August or September. But in Japan, you start in April, and then you have the summer, and then you finish in March. So the school years are very different. But because the summer is so long, we have things like summer camp or summer school. I love summer camp because you just go and have fun every single day. Yeah, and some days we'd go to the pool and we can go to the snack stand.
Whoa.
And one time I bought this big stick of sugar and you just go.
Oh, that looks so good. Maybe I haven't once like that one, maybe.
Not this big though, that thing was huge. We would also have pretzels too.
What's pretzels?
Pretzels is like this type of bread and it's got salt on it. They bake it so it's hot when you eat it. It's so good, I love it.
And it was so salty, right?
Yeah. But you could buy that at the pool, so that's one of my favorite memories. We also made tie-dye shirts.
What's tie-dye shirts?
Well, you take a t-shirt and you dip it in ink, and then when you unfold it, it has all these different colors.
Oh, maybe I know that.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Yeah, I know, right?
And
It's just you going to dip it, and then put a wagome here, make sure it won't go off.
Yeah.
And dip it, and then if you slowly get it off, it's like a hanabi or like flowers, right?
How do you know that?
Because before I think I talked about it in the school.
Interesting. Okay, so maybe tie-dye is a thing here too. Now in Japan, everybody starts the school year in April, and so that's decided. And for someone like Teito, who was born in March, he ends up being the youngest in the class because he's born late. But in the US, the parents can actually decide if they want to delay the child. And so I think that would be perfect for Teito. We could choose to hold him back for a year, and then he wouldn't be the youngest in the class. I like having that option, and unfortunately in Japan, the parents really can't choose. If you're born on a certain month, you have to be in a certain grade. It's decided like that.
That's poor for people like Tato, huh?
I think so, yeah. Bad timing. So, Mina, when you started 小学校 in April, you went to a 入学式, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we call that an entrance ceremony.
It's because you go to a next step.
That's
That's
right.
like the ceremony, right?
That's right. And you'll also have a 卒業式 in the 6th grade. Okay? But in the US, there aren't 入学式. There aren't entrance ceremonies. There aren't many graduations. The only big graduation you'll have is at the end of high school. Yeah, so Japan tends to celebrate the beginnings and the endings a lot more. And I think that's a great thing. Now, in Japan, you are in 小学校, and you'll be in 小学校 for 6 years. America is similar. Some schools will have 6 years of 小学校. Some schools will have 5 years. In Texas, my school only had 5 years. And then after that, you have 中学校 or junior high school. And so in Japan, you have years 1 through 3. In America, we would just keep counting. So we would have 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. And then after that, we have high school. In Japan, high school is optional. But in the US, you have to go to high school. So that's one of the differences there too. So Mina, how do you go to 小学校?
I always go with my friend.
And you walk there?
Yeah.
That's one of the big differences. In America, most people would go by car or by school buses. Yeah, and I went by school bus. The school bus is really interesting. There's like this social rule, and so all the young kids have to sit in the front of the bus. And all the older kids get to sit in the back of the bus. I don't know, they're in the back and they're like, hey, hey, hey. And
The cool kids?
The cool kids and the older kids. And all of the younger kids, they're sitting in the front all like nervous and stuff. Yeah. So that's interesting.
And it is kind of funny too.
Right? But did you know that it's much safer in the front of the bus? The back of the bus is actually the most dangerous part of the bus. So Mina, when you get to your school, what's the first thing you have to do?
You will wear your uabaki and then you will go to your own class.
In the US, we don't really have uabaki or indoor shoes. You just wear the same shoes as you would wear outside, inside.
I knew it because when you're going to go to bed, you always use the shoes too, right?
Oh, yeah. In a lot of American homes, people will wear shoes inside, and they'll even jump on the bed with their shoes on sometimes. In Japan, you would never do that, right?
Yeah, because the inside room will be really dirty.
So that's one of the big differences that I never really got used to. I would go over to my friend's house, and I would take off my shoes, and they'll be like, yo, June, what are you doing? Because you're not supposed to take off your shoes in the house.
Yeah, I was always wondering that.
Also, Mina, every day you have to take a randoseru. That thing is so heavy,
Yeah, I know, right?
right? What do you have in there?
Of course, fudabako.
Your pencil box?
Yeah, pencil box. And then your notebook and textbooks too. And sometimes we need to bring the pin set too.
All of it's just so heavy, right?
Yeah, I don't know why, but so much heavy.
In America, we don't need to prepare much.
What?
Yeah, our book bags are really light. Maybe at the beginning of the school year, we'll go to back to school shopping and buy school supplies. We leave it all at the school. And so when we go home, we really don't need to carry much. It's just a really light bag. Yeah, I think it's a much better system.
Oh, I wish I can go to America. Except I will take off the shoes always.
Yeah, good idea. So Mina, how does school lunch work at your school?
There's a team, and then each team is the people get to serve.
Oh, so you take turns serving each other? That's wonderful.
And I really love that. I wish I can always do that.
You like it?
The most one I love it is doing the soup because Mina's really good at it, and of course Gohan too. I'm actually really good at all of it, but I really like the soup.
Wow, that's very different from America. Yeah, in America, all the kids go to a cafeteria, and then they have their lunches served. Yeah, so the kids don't do it. An adult will usually do it.
You mean you would go get your bowl and then get from the grown-ups and then go and then sometimes eat outside, right?
Yeah, that's right. Now, some kids will buy their lunch at the cafeteria. Other kids will bring their lunch in a little lunch bag like this. I was talking to Aisha from Bilingual Baby about this. She said that lunch at school is like a jungle.
It's like going into the jungle. You have to find a place to sit, with the popular people, and there's nowhere to sit. Okay, now I'm going to have to sit by myself. And it's like a jungle.
Everyone has to find a place to eat, and it can get very territorial.
What's a territorial?
It means like, oh, this is where I'm going to sit. You can't sit here, like that. And so sometimes it's not fun, right? Because you're constantly worried about who you're sitting with, where you're going to sit. And the food is also very different too. In Japan, I hear it's very delicious and it's very nutritious. But in America, it's not so healthy. We had stuff like pizza and macaroni. It's not very nutritious.
Actually, for me in Japan, there's so many things that I don't like in my school.
That's because it's healthy, like eggplants.
Yeah, and then like fish.
Well, learn to eat it and learn to enjoy it because as a grown-up, I love all of those things and it's healthy. There's also another difference, and that's cleaning. Mina, how does cleaning work at your school?
Every team place, every letsu gets to do their own cleaning job.
Wow.
You know the kokubankeshi? There's a lot of,
Chalk.
Yeah, chalk. That's why there's a cleaner, and sometimes you go there and then make sure it will clean it.
Oh, there's a machine to clean it?
Yeah, it's like a shojiki. You scrub it like this.
Interesting. Thank you for explaining that. Yeah, in the US, we don't have to do any of that. Yeah, kids don't clean up after themselves. There's a person called a janitor, and their job is to clean up the school. So it's so different, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, Mina, how do you start the school day? So you're sitting down in class, and the teacher walks into class. Do you have to say anything or do anything?
There's the things that are called the nichoku. There's like a copy thing, and then you will read it. And then when you're going to finish the jigyo or opening of the jigyo, they always say it. Even kairi no kai too, when they're going to go back home.
Cool. Do they have to stand up and say it? Interesting. In the US, when we first start the day, everyone stands up and they put their hand like this, and then they face the American flag. And then they say, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we would have to say that every morning. And we call that the Pledge of Allegiance.
But it's kind of a long.
I know, but you say it over and over again, so you memorize it. Even after all these years, I still remember it. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And depending on the school, you would also sing songs. My country to... Okay, I forgot that one, but it's like that. And Mina, do you have recess at your school?
What's recess?
In Japanese, you would say yasumi jikan.
Yeah, I do.
How many?
It depends on the jigyo. We will say he finished the first jigyo. And then after that, it will be yasumi jikan. And then there's the again. And then sometimes when it's like tosho or again or taiku, and then again taiku, it's like the yasumi jikan is so short. Like, go to the toilet. And then already finished. We're like just to drink the water and then need to go like that.
In America, we would have recess as well. It's different from every school, but at my school, we had a 15-minute recess in the late morning, and then we would have a really long recess, like 30 minutes after lunch. And I love recess because we get to go outside, play sports like soccer or play on the playground. One time I was playing in the playground, I was running because I was so excited, and then a bee flew into my mouth. And then it stung my mouth. It got so big like this. It was swollen. Do you get to play outside during Yasumi Jikan?
Yeah, but it's the before the nijikanme. It's the nijikanme yasumi jikan. And sometimes we go outside, but I hate going outside.
Why?
Well, it's kind of fun too, but there's a lot of kids, and I actually don't like to run because it's make me so tired.
It's good to get some exercise. Yeah.
I know, but it's such a long way. You go to the hallway and you go to the kutsubako and wear your shoes, right? And and then it's this much big, right? That's why you need to come here until here.
And then by the time you get there,休み時間 is over and you have to go back.
Yeah, so running, and then I don't like that because sometimes it's too hot or like it's make me so tired.
But yeah, there have been studies done, and if you run around and exercise, it'll help you focus for the rest of the day. How about snack time? Do you have snack time?
There's the thing that called the gakudo, and they can eat snacks there.
In my elementary school, we had snack time. So all the kids can bring like a Ziploc bag of snacks, and then there'll be time to sit down and eat it. Sometimes they'll have milk and stuff like that. And on my very first day of elementary school, I just moved from Japan, so I didn't know about snack time. The teacher's like, "Oh, June, where's your snack?" I didn't speak English, right? And so the teacher's like, "Okay, well, let me go ahead and check June's bag." And so they opened it up looking for it, and I was like, "What's happening? I don't know." Right? And then they found a bag of medicine. I used to get tummy aches a lot, so Omi put a lot of medicine in it, and they're like, "Are these drugs? June, did you bring drugs?" And I was like, "I don't know." Right? But I still remember that. But from that day forward, I always made Omi pack some snacks for me.
Japan and America is so different.
It is, right? Yeah, and both have their advantages. And I'm very happy and excited that you're going to Japanese shogakko because you can learn a ton there. And you learn how to work with people, how to work in a social environment. So do your best. I know it's not always easy and there are some kids who will say mean things, but it's going to make you tough. And keep studying because it's going to make you smart, right? I hope we can talk more about the differences between American schools and Japanese schools. But Mina, thank you very much for talking with me today. All right, let's go back home.
Thank you for watching our video, and we'll see you
Next time. Bye.